Hi, everybody. It's me again. This is my third time, by the way. Um, my my live stream just went kaput for whatever reason, and I hate it. It sucks, and the software needs some bugs to be corrected on Facebook on a smartphone here. So there are still a lot of great things about it, but the live streaming just needs some work. They need to fix they need to fix the bugs in it. They need to iron out the bugs and all. So I hope that this works this time around. All right. Getting back to what I was saying before, tonight is going to be a special conference call by the Gary Johnson for President campaign. Um, I guess there's a phone number that was let loose by the campaign. You'll be muted. You can listen to him, ask, make announcements, and maybe ask. He might be getting asked a few questions. I know his vice presidential running mate is going to be on the phone with him, so it's going to be it's not going to be all that pleasant because that mate of his happens to be none other than William Weld. William Weld was a Republican governor of the state of Massachusetts, and this was before Mitt Romney came in. And apparently, the word go has it that Weld is. Well, let me put it this way. He was anti-gun. He was completely anti-Second Amendment. And he's a member of the Libertarian Party, and I'm wondering, why the hell do we bring in a guy who's against the Second Amendment, let alone opposed to our platform plank? He should have known this. Why Johnson picked him out of all the other possible contenders, I don't know, but I think I have a theory as to why. Johnson is he's running for the sake of making himself look good. He's not doing this because this is a great idea. This is the one thing that he needs to do. And Johnson seems to be laboring under the delusion that he doesn't care. So he's laboring under the delusion. My bad. I'm just kidding there. He's laboring under the delusion that he's going to get the nomination, that he's the real deal, that he's a true libertarian, and he's not. If he gets the nomination the second time around, before I go any further on that, I did support him in 2012, right after Ron Paul folded his campaign. And the thing is about Johnson is that I wish I had never supported the guy. I wish I never did. This is a guy who, for whatever reason, he was being supported. This is a guy who, who was going with the fair tax. I wasn't really all that excited. I mean, do we really need another sales tax? And he was also supporting some positions that I didn't agree, that were pretty lukewarm, that were kind of weak. This time around, he's worse. This time, he is worse. Gary Johnson is the worst contender for this damn thing. Hey, Dan Davis. Hey, my old friend. Dan used to go to high school with me. And I know David Goey. He and I were on Lycos talk radio. Lycos had a talk radio mechanism back in the early aughts, and that lasted for a while. We weren't allowed to make podcasts or anything. It just it just never happened. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting time this weekend because the next several days will be, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, uh, today's Monday, right? So the next 2 days, a bunch of people are going to be flying to Orlando to meet at the convention center because I believe the convention starts Thursday and continues on until Sunday. And the people there, they're going to be in Orlando. They're going to be voting who's going to be the presidential and vice presidential picks. Right now, they're also going to be voting for LNC officer elections and whatnot. And there's going to be breakout sessions. There's going to be dinner, lunch, breakfast, you name it. There's going to be a lot of things people are going to be doing at the Libertarian National Convention in Orlando this week. So you're going to have a lot of speakers there, but the most important thing is the presidential nomination. And, you know, I think it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out this week and everything, but I'm hoping Austin gets the nomination, and here's why. He is a constitutionalist. He's great on the issues. He's gotten more and more professional, right down to the wire ever since the Stossel debate on Fox Business, and it's been just one hell of a joy. I think he's done a very good job. Hey, yeah, Dave, remember the Fallout shelter? Man, I'll never forget that, man. The good times we had on that, you know. Dan, yeah, I'm going to be calling into that number that Gary Johnson's going to have that live conference call, and I'll be muted, and I'm gonna make my phone muted because I'm not gonna answer anything or ask any questions. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to record the call, and I'm going to let people hear what Gary Johnson's gonna say. I'm not gonna be doing any speaking. I'm going to let people hear Gary Johnson because the guy is a liar. It turns out that his campaign owes over $1.7 million on top of the amount of debt that he amassed during his 2012 run. I mean, this is a guy who ran as a Republican candidate when he jumped into the race. I mean, he was only in for a couple of debates, and then he disappears off the map. He was on the same stage. He was sharing the same stage with Ron Paul, who was running his campaign then, and that was it. It was gone. Okay? So he decided to switch over because then LNC chair Mark Hingle asked him, would you please consider joining the Libertarian Party and run as a Libertarian? And Johnson was like, fuck yeah, I'll do it. Okay, sure, why not, man? You know, I'll join the LP and run a nice Libertarian campaign, and I'll bring people aboard, and we're going to have somebody with office experience. I mean, I was a 2-term governor, you know, wow. I was a 2-term governor in the mid-1990s from 1995 to 2003. I governed the state of New Mexico. I cut the budget. I balanced the budget, the whole 9 yards. I mean, what could you ask for, right? So it turned out that National Review just came out with a new article on him Some people, a lot of the Johnson supporters say that it's a hit piece, and I've been bitching at them left and right on the Facebook group. But it turns out, check this guy out, this guy's. He grew the state spending by 75%. When he came in, it was at a it was big, but not as big when he came in. Then when he left, it was 75% bigger. Oh, and the budget. Let's not stop there. The budget. When he came in, the budget was smaller. It turns out that he apparently, you're gonna love this, guys, and he not only did he come in with a very smaller budget, but he also grew the budget by 250%. Oh my God. This is an embarrassment for the campaign, man. I mean, 250%. And everybody should vote for this guy. Go LP! Oh, man. And it's going to be a very contentious battle for the soul of the Libertarian Party at the convention this week. It's going to be huge. It's going to be the likes of which nobody had ever seen when it came to Bob Barr in 2008. And Bob Barr was the worst pick for a candidate on the Libertarian banner. He was the worst pick. And for people to actually take Gary Johnson seriously again, he's the worst debater. He gave the worst answers. I don't know if anybody had seen the Las Vegas Libertarian debate moderated by Penn Jillette, a fantastic Libertarian, by the way. He was, he gave some of the worst answers. Austin mopped the floor with this guy. He was stuck. He was still on point. He made his points constantly, and it was just fantastic. He knew what to say. He knew what to do, and people loved the guy for this. He was right on cue. Whereas Gary, he just fumbled the entire time. He just couldn't even get any libertarian answer out of him. You couldn't even squeeze a little drop of libertarian juice out of the guy if you tried it already. So this is a guy who really is the worst candidate. He's the worst pick for the party. And on top of that, he is really making himself look really creepy. So that's the thing here. He's really a very bad candidate. A lot of Austin Petersen supporters are laughing at the guy. I am, as an Austin supporter, I am laughing at the guy too. I don't see how he's going to get the nomination unless he buys the nomination, which I wouldn't put it past him if he tries to. But this is going to be great. This is going to be funny. That's why I love this idiot Gary Johnson, the former governor of New Mexico, by the way, who was a Republican, switched over to the Libertarian side, but hasn't been acting like a Libertarian. He's been acting more like a Republican than a Libertarian. So it's like, dude, go back to the GOP. You're wasting your breath. You're not doing us any favors. You're not doing us any solids, period, okay? So please, just go on back. Move back to the GOP. It's screw you. I mean, if we're going to take a dictator, and if the choice has to be between you and Trump and Hillary, I think I know what Americans would rather have. They would rather have, and I hate to say it, I think Americans would rather have. Hold on one second here. Oh, never mind. My mom got it. Okay. Anyway, it's annoying whenever you get phone calls and you're wondering if somebody's going to answer it. But anyway, I hate to say it, but I think it's going to be Hillary, because Gary Johnson will make people vote for Hillary because nobody's going to want to vote for Trump. Nobody's going to want to vote for Johnson. So we'll vote for Hillary. Yeah. No. I mean, that's the worst thing you could ever hope for, right? So if Gary Johnson gets the nomination, I'll be sitting out this election. I'll be saying, screw this, because I'm not going to vote for a candidate who supports a vice presidential pick who's anti-gun, and the Libertarian Party will be done for. They will have blown their chance of nominating a real Libertarian candidate for office. We might not win this year. Trump or Hillary could win this year, but you know something? I would rather support somebody who is willing to win and stays true to himself and to his ideas and to revitalizing America and doing what's right. And that's that. So, that being said, it's going to be an interesting week. I don't know what day specifically. Sorry about that. My mom called me on my cell here, telling me, yeah, Pam, you called my mom, and then mom called me. It's okay, though. I understand. But it's been, you know, okay. My live streaming just almost shorted out here, but the idea that he's going to get the nomination, I really do hope Austin wins this. I really do hope he does this, because this is going to be huge. If Austin does win this, I will be campaigning him full hard. I will do whatever it takes to get the word out. I'll be getting campaign brochures. I'll be canvassing. I'll be putting yard signs. I mean, I don't care what it will take. I will get the third party candidate of the LP's name this year. And that will be Austin Petersen. I guarantee it. And for those of you who want to learn more about Austin, please go to www.austinpetersen, and that's spelled AustinPetersen 2016. That's AustinPetersen2016.com. So, yes, I'm plugging his campaign site, so go there, check out his issues, what he stands for, and please, If you want to learn more, you can contact his staff and they'll be glad to answer questions for you. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to be an interesting convention week. We're going to raise the bar. We're going to make it an exciting convention. And we're going to tell people, this is what we stand for and whatnot. And we're going to sell it because people are starting to wake up. People are starting to see things as they really are. So, that being said, if you guys got any questions, please throw them my way. Well, that's fine. Well, you're, and, hey, well, that's your choice. If you want to support Gary Johnson, I'm not going to hold that against you. But I think you're foolish to support the guy. But hey, that's your choice. Whatever. I'm not going to knock you down or attack you for it. But it's my choice to support Austin Petersen, and that's that. And nobody's going to tell me anything else. And there's no candidate I agree with 100%. And that applies to all candidates. But I'll tell you one thing: Austin's the real deal. And oh, excuse me, that is not true, Will. I'm telling you right now, William Weld has an anti-gun record. He when he was governor of Massachusetts, he supported anti-assault weapons legislation. That is on record. A number of libertarians, even from Ernie Hancock's group, can tell you about William Weld. Okay. Gary Johnson, hey, you're more than entitled to your opinion, Will. Like I said, David, yes, I'm sure you would knock him down. So, all right, I get that. Any other comments from the peanut gallery here? Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year. I talked to Alicia Dern today. She is a very interesting vice presidential candidate. And she's somebody I would definitely consider supporting. There might be a couple of issues I have, but Gary Johnson, I am not. But it's like I was talking to Laura Turner today, and she told me that the Johnson supporters have a stick up their ass. So it's been a great session. Oh yeah, it's been a good session, and I'll tell you, nothing is truer to me than to support somebody who I believe is a good candidate. Joy Waymeyer told me she'll support anybody but Johnson, and I was her campaign manager. Okay, so you're going to support Johnson, but more and more people, from what I've heard and from what I've discussed, have been telling me and everybody else that a number of Johnson supporters are now turning their backs on him. So I would, so this is a very interesting discussion here. If you guys got any thoughts, any comments, who are you supporting for the race this year? Why? I know a number of people, my mom supporting Trump, he is the, even Austin said that he's going to be more like Donald Trump, and I believe that. We need a Donald Trump-esque candidate, and that is Austin. I hate to use Donald Trump's name into this because it gives that wrong impression, but I think this is the best thing that we're doing. Um, this is the best thing, guys, that this campaign season has been doing so far, and I think. Oh, I've been keeping my eye contact on you, David. So there. Um, but I will tell you right now, this whole thing has been a very big abysmal. I mean, I don't know why Trump is being supported by so many in the GOP. They've got their reasons. They're going to do what they want. So it's going to be interesting to see what they will come up with. And if Trump doesn't change a number of things going on in his campaign, Hillary could easily get it. But if she doesn't address the war on terrorism issue for a lot of people, it could be President Trump. I'll just be frankly honest here. Hopefully a lot more people will be supporting Austin's campaign. And the more we get out the word and everything, the more people will realize, hey, we're doing something great. We're doing something fantastic. We're doing something that is unique. And, who knows? I mean, it's going to be an interesting campaign, yeah, you know what? I agree with you, David. Trump is drawing from the bigot crowd non-contender. And he is. I mean, the biggest problem with Trump is that, he hates Muslims. He's very much of a misogynist and a sexist. He, I understand that political correctness is a problem, and it is, but you don't have to be a prick about it. You don't have to be insulting about it. And he is. He attacked Michelle Fields, the reporter who wanted to ask Trump about his affirmative action policy. And Corey Lewandowski, Trump's campaign manager, just grabbed her and just nearly pushed her aside and whatnot. And it was just disgusting. How they treated him. And everybody, including Sean Hannity, just about every Trump supporter, just about every Republican out there, were making excuses for Trump and for Corey Lewandowski. And I saw the video footage. Corey Lewandowski put his hands on another person, and he had no right, no business doing that in the first place. So this is a problem that I think that this is going to be, no matter what. I'm very pumped up, and this is going to be an exciting week for everybody going to Orlando. I wish I could be going. I can't because of the money issues and everything. And, yeah, he is a redheaded prick, David. You're right. Trump is, so even some libertarians like Walter Block was stupidly supporting Donald Trump, and I guess that was for the primary thing from what I'm hearing now. Initially, he didn't explain that. I thought he was just going to be an ardent supporter of Trump from then up until the end of the entire campaign season. So, but now, from what I heard, he's now supporting Austin. And I was like, Really? I mean, Walter Block, the libertarian who writes for LouRockwell.com, he's now supporting Austin Petersen. That's a shocker. I thought he was a Trump man, but I guess he changed his mind. Okay, good. I think he's seen the error of his ways. But I think, he really has, if he has really changed, which is what I'm trying to say here, if he really has seen the light, then he's doing the right thing. And that's all that anybody could ask for. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Jen. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. I just noticed you got to joining the group itself. But yeah, like I was saying, Gary Johnson's going to be having a live conference call at 9. He released a phone number for anybody to call, but you're going to be muted, and I guess they're not going to be having you asking him any questions or what have you, so that's just going to be kind of sort of boring. But then again, I'm kind of wondering exactly why is he having this conference call? Is he doing this only for the Johnson delegates? Mm-hmm. And I wonder what he's plotting to do. The various tactics he's going to pull at the convention to buy his nomination, to buy his way out of that convention. So I think it's going to be interesting no matter what. You got a point there, Dave. I think he sounds a lot like a very twisted, nightmarish version of Ross Perot. But he's pulling numbers out of his ass. I mean, this guy is really a real prick. I mean, he's a real complete idiot who thinks that, he's God's greatest gift to the country and the economy. And if you look at all the businesses that he has, initially I was thinking, he had some pretty good business acumen. But then when I started looking into his business practices from the number of his companies, I began to realize that wasn't really true. He doesn't really have any good acumen completely. I mean, if his businesses were doing so well, why did some of his businesses go belly up? And he's the same way if he were to become president. He would balloon the debt, he would balloon the deficit, he would balloon the budget. He wouldn't provide a balanced budget like he thinks he is. This is the same guy, Donald Trump, who wants a 45% trade tax on China, which means the next time you buy your iPhone upgrade, you're going to be paying over $1,300 for it, maybe more. This is also the guy who wants a double wall all across the entire border on Mexico, and he wants Mexico to pay for it. Like the Mexican government or the Mexican people in that country are going to be paying for a wall. Give me a break. I mean, that would be like Mexico needs a new welfare state, and they're going to have the American people, they're going to be demanding the American people to pay for it. Are you kidding me? Give me a break. So I just don't. This is the same guy who says, "Well, we can't allow Muslims to come into the country because we need to figure out what's going on." He wants closed immigration completely. He wants this country to be so much like North Korea. We might as well call the United States the United States of North Korea or something. So he's doing this simply because why? He wants Republicans to support this guy But this guy, I mean, he, in one way, I think it's good that he self-funded his campaign. I guess maybe that was the way he started out, but then again, that wasn't completely true because his campaign wasn't really all that self-funded at all. I mean, he had campaign donations coming in from many different silent backers or what have you. I mean, this is a guy who has donated his time and his energy to turn his entire presidential campaign into a reality show skit. So give me a break. And this is a guy who has become a huge embarrassment for the Republican Party, and I think he just killed it. So that's why the Libertarian Party needs to strike. That's why we need to take over. And we need to show the American people that we are the real alternative, that we are the real deal, that we do have workable solutions, unlike the Republicans and the Democrats. The Democrats just want to keep spending us into oblivion, okay? Hillary, I don't even know if she'll even survive the federal probe into her email server thing to get elected. I don't know about you, David, but yeah, you're right. He has donated to others over the years. Now he wants payback. Yeah, he wants payback. He's